Welcome to Loan Officer Success Live, sponsored by Premier Lending, the show where the mortgage industry's top players pull back the curtain. Your host, Devin Dubuc, sits down with industry leaders, top producers, and game-changing mortgage tech innovators, all sharing their unfiltered strategies, bold ideas, and proven secrets for success. Get ready to take notes, think bigger, and play to win, because this is Loan Officer Success Live. Welcome back. Hey, and welcome to the show. Today we've got John Worling and Kelly Taylor out of the great state of Tennessee, and super excited to have you guys on here today.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, what an opportunity. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, 100%. Well, I think we got a pretty cool show today. We're talking about how the right realtor and lender can save transactions, right? And, I was going to ask you this question. What's the first thing when something goes sideways as a realtor that actually matters?
Ooh, I'd say communication. That's just such a big thing, not only for something going sideways, just throughout the whole process. You got to have good communication, because when it does go south, you got to be able to explain things. You got to have a great lender that can get with the buyer and say, hey, you know what? These things are looking a little off. Let's work on that.
Yeah.
Tell your realtor about it. We're going to work through this. No biggie.
I love that. Kelly, what's your thoughts on that? So something's going sideways. What's the thing that actually matters?
Stop. Take a breath. This is not the end of the world. We got to stop. Take a breath. I think staying calm throughout it is very important. Definitely the communication,
No question.
When something goes south, it's better to deliver the bad news quickly. Like, get it over with, eat the frog. Hey, this is where we're at. Get everybody on the right page, on the same page. And that includes, the borrower needs to know, the
Absolutely
needs to know, the lender. As soon as the lender finds out something didn't happen, or if there's something wrong with the house and that something happens that way, realtor needs to let everybody know. So communication and keep calm. This will work out.
Well, I love that you said that. And, it's crazy how this works, because I've been doing this for, 24 years, 25 years. And it never ceases to amaze me that the first response for some loan officers, not you, Kelly, and I know that's not the case, is to hide behind a rock and not tell anybody, right? No, I think what most want to do is they want to fix the problem before they even make the reach out call to tell people what's going on. And I think that is exactly opposite for the reasons that you just mentioned. But what's your thought process on that?
So if I know that something has gone wrong and we're not progressing right now, we hit a stumbling block. The first thing I need to do is talk to my borrower about it, realtor about it. Okay, let's get our heads together. What's the solution? Come up with that solution. It may not even be something, if I talk to them, it may not even be a problem, right? So why sit back and worry about something when it may not even be anything to worry about?
Yeah, let's put our problem solving hat on, get everybody together so we can talk through, see if there's a solution. And obviously, the other thing that you mentioned there is when you're all talking together, you may be able to find the solution you didn't know was there, because something may be introduced in that conversation that says, aha, I know exactly how we're going to fix this problem.
Yep. Brainstorm.
And this happens. It happens all the time with any lender, any buyer. These things are going to pop up where something's happened.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, working with Kelly, it's amazing, because she's going to call and say, hey, you know what, this situation just come up. Hold off. Let's not panic. I've got an idea. And that's what I love with the lender and with Kelly.
Love that. Well, so the title is How the Right Realtor and Lender Save Transactions and Build Trust. My question is what does that phrase mean to each of you?
Okay, so in the green room before you got on, when we were having problems, we had a discussion about just that thing, you have to have that relationship. You have to have that trust. And when you get to that part in your relationship, in your business relationship, where you can trust, and it's easier to send that referral over. Yeah. If I get somebody that comes pre-qualified and they don't have a realtor, I don't hesitate to send them to John, because I know that we're going to communicate throughout the process. I know that he's going to take them to the closing table. I believe we just did that in January. We just had closing in January that I was able to send over to him. Great buyer, called me up and got him approved, pre-qualified very easily, and sent him over to John, and John took him shopping, and it didn't take long at all, and he was in contract.
He was a first-time home buyer, young, had a great career. It was just a good, smooth transaction.
Mm-hmm.
He was really happy. His mom moved in with him, so it was like, I don't know if I told you.
No, I didn't know about that.
But it was great because the mom was there the whole time, and she's going through this process with us. They both were just so happy, and it was just a good experience.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so do you think most people outside the business realize how often a deal gets saved behind the scenes?
Probably not. Probably not.
It's only brought up when there's something that the buyer's got to have addressed. Like, you know, we got to fix this problem. There's so many other little problems that come up that we're like, we can figure that out ourselves. We got it.
Those aren't problems. Those are like speed bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, why we talk about having the right lender and the right realtor, because at the end of the day, when there's a symmetry there, little things can be solved that ultimately the client doesn't always have to see. And that's how great teams work together.
You want to put as little stress on the buyer as possible. They're already having to take on a lot. They're stressed just at the thought of buying a home. And so managing that, minimizing that is really important.
I agree. So, John, I want you to tell us about the first deal where Kelly stepped in after another lender dropped the ball.
Yeah.
What was happening, right, in real time?
2 years ago now?
Yep.
I had a buyer. We were probably a week out from closing, if that.
Ooh.
Got a notification from the lender, loan's been denied. Oh, okay.
Lender, not Kelly, by the way.
No, not Kelly. Not Kelly. This is how I met Kelly. And so my buyer, they're freaking out, of course. They love this house, wanted that house. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's work through this. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's look at our options. Well, the buyer calls me a little while later and he's like, hey, I talked with somebody at my job and they recommended Kelly. Cool, call her. And sure enough, we started working together, closed that in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was, I think, 3 weeks.
Yep. Closed.
So we're talking about just call Kelly.
Just call Kelly.
Yeah.
Call Kelly. And Kelly, from your side, what did the file look like when it landed on your desk?
So I couldn't find out why they denied it. The lender had a reason, but that reason didn't stick. So I felt like I was concerned because is there something else maybe that they're just not telling me? And then I'm going to get in this process and then I'm going to be in the same boat. He just, really thoroughly went over everything. And what the reason that they denied it for was not, it may have been an overlay on their part for that lender, but it was not a VA reason. It wasn't a VA condition. So we went ahead and closed it.
So we got a veteran into a home where somebody else had a barrier. And I think what you're trying to say is not all lenders are created equal.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah. That's stress. That's stressful for a consumer because how do they know? And John, I'm going to ask you this question. How do they know which lender that they can trust?
That's where, as an agent, you come in. In Tennessee, I can't just say, if a buyer comes to me and says, hey, I need a lender, I can't just say, okay, well, just call Kelly. That's it. I've got to have multiple lenders to provide them. And I slide the list over. I say, hey, call these lenders. Kelly's at the top of this list for a reason, though. Talk to her.
Yeah.
The reason I want you to talk to her is because what's really important for me, and that as the buyer will find out as we go in this process, is communication. I know without a doubt, if I need something, if I got questions, if my client's got questions, Kelly's going to answer.
Yeah. Well, what I hear you saying there is that there's a reason why your agent is providing you with contacts. And at the end of the day, if you listen to what you're being told, or not told, right, but provided, right, essentially, you could potentially avoid costly mistakes, stress, or frustration in the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was the deal that made you both realize that you could really work well together? Was this the deal? Was this it? Or was there another transaction where you're like, no?
For me, that was it. I was like, I love, for me, that solid.
Right out the gate was, I talk with so many lenders all the time, and what I look for, I keep going back to this communication, but to me, that is the most important thing. And from day one, I was like, Kelly's there.
Yeah.
She's ready.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. When something starts to go sideways, what do you guys think the client's going through emotionally?
Oh, they're not sleeping at night. I can tell you that. They're not sleeping. It isn't. I mean, this is their biggest investment.
Yeah.
For most, I guess not everybody, but
for
most cars, it is their biggest investment. Is buying their home, whether it is for an investment purchase that they are actually going to be using as an investment, or their own primary residence, which still that's an investment. So when they're spending this kind of money and investing this kind of money, it's kind of stressful. We need to keep them calm and hold their hand all the way through.
There's a lot of emotion behind it. I've had buyers on the phone crying because they feel like they just lost the house of their dreams. And, you get every once in a while, you get that little problem that comes up and the buyer goes, well, I've lost hope. I'm not getting this house. I'm like, hold on, let Kelly do her thing. And I don't know if we've ever had one not close.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
If we have, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
We forgot about it.
If you were watching this and you did not close when working with John and Kelly, just drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear what happened and why you couldn't. I think the comments are going to be pretty crickets on this one, because I'm pretty sure you guys have put them all together. Yeah.
And we've had some that maybe the first introduction or so that, they just weren't able to find the house, and then they came back around later. And we've closed a couple like that where they just weren't, wasn't the right timing for them. They were pre-qualified or whatever, but just couldn't find the house, and it took a little while. But John is really good about staying in touch with his past client database, and
that's awesome.
And so I think that the follow-up and the just always being there as a friend, and as much as you communicate with a client, when you get a new client, they're part of your family. They're in your friends group, so.
Develop that relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you're saying is that when the transaction is over, it's not over, right? That's just the beginning of a long-term relationship. And, I feel like if you're in this industry and we treat our clients, like friends or family, which a lot of the times they become, it's rewarding for everybody involved.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So what does good communication look like when a transaction is in trouble?
That last part is where it gets tricky. It's like, how much do I want to communicate this? That's just one of my things where I keep going back to this. Communication is just so important.
Yeah.
You got to know what's wrong and how to fix it. And you got to be able to, I'm sure Kelly will touch on this, but to communicate those things of, hey, this is what's come up. These are the steps you need to do to get this fixed.
I like something that we do when, not even just when they're in trouble, but throughout the entire process, from the time that John gets a client that he wants to introduce to me, or I get a client that I'm going to introduce to John, we just started off with a, not together for, hey, I'm going to introduce you to Kelly, or hey, I'm going to introduce you to John. And then we put it together in a group text message. So it's a 3-way text, and then we follow that process all the way through to closing. Yeah. So there's never, like, if they have a question and they don't know who to ask, they ask there. And if John answers, then I'm learning a little bit of the realtor side, and, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And then if I answer, if it's something that he didn't know. But I think that is a really good part of our communication. Yeah. And we've gotten some really great feedback on that as well.
Well, you know what it makes me think of is, and I, I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but I've been on some experiences where I've gotten, together with other families, other couples, or other coworkers. Kelly, actually, I know this has happened because you've been involved in one of these, and you get it, you're going on this event, and all of a sudden you create a three-way text or a multi-way text, right, to where everybody's engaged and everybody's communicating, and throughout that trip, everybody kind of knows where everybody's at, and they know what's going on. And you guys have an even better time because it becomes more of almost like a little party line, right?
Yes.
To get everybody to the end of this trip. And then even after the trip is done, there's still communication on that party line because you guys have grown so connected. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what built the partnership? Like, where did it come together to where, you guys, start building a real partnership together? What does that look like? And what does it feel like to work with one another, as a client, right? When they're working with you, tell me how that looks.
As like from the client's perspective,
To the best of your ability to talk about what the client sees as they work with the two of you throughout a transaction.
Friendship.
professionalism.
Professionalism.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I don't know. We goof off a lot. We both are like fun and prank stuff, but we can tone it down when we have to. I mean, we had some fun stuff that we wanted to do on this, but we decided we better not do. No, but for real, it's the professionalism, and it is a family. I mean, like we end up being so close throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
And the experience. Kelly's very experienced and very skilled at what she does. And that comes across to the buyers. I
love that. Well, and John, so, at what point in time did you go, man, this she got it. She knows what she's doing.
I actually thought about this morning on the way in. I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? There is one, it was last year. It was just like a random Tuesday. Kelly calls me and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, hey, I learned some great stuff the other day. You want to do some coaching? I'm like,
oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, why not? Yeah. And we were on the phone for probably about an hour just talking about how we can do better. And that really stuck with me.
Well, that kind of leads into this next question. And, we may have some loan officers that are listening in here trying to figure out how they create great value for their agents. John, what would you say, when you're looking for your partner, in this case, Kelly, but when you're looking for the partner that you want to work with, what do you look for in a great loan officer?
There's a few things. Most important, again, communication, but personality.
Yeah.
You got to have someone that can talk, that can cut up when need be. So those are really it. A lot of lenders, they have a lot of I may be stepping too far out of here.
No, step over the line, man. Make those. Yeah, we want to hear it.
Go ahead.
The dirty details.
As a real estate agent, lenders, they all have similar products, similar interest rates, similar closing costs. They're all pretty competitive.
Right.
And so when I'm talking with the lender, I'm not really necessarily interested in what their interest rates are.
Yeah.
That's, the buyer needs to discover that for what's going to work for them.
Right.
So what I want is, if I pick up the phone and I got to call Kelly on a Saturday, is she going to answer? Is my buyer, they call on a Saturday, hey, I'm going to write an offer on this house. What's my monthly payments going to be? Is that lender going to answer? And I know without a doubt Kelly's going to answer. So for me,
unless she's with her grandbabies.
She still answers.
You just got to listen to them a little bit.
I called her before and she's like, I'm on my way to Florida, but I got my laptop right here.
Same here. I might have been on that same call just maybe a few minutes before or after.
That laptop will travel.
It does. Yeah.
So for my aspect, for the real estate agent aspect, it's just communication and having someone that's there when you need them.
A partner.
Yep.
Yeah. Kelly, same question for you. What are you looking for, when you're trying to partner up with an agent that you want to work with? Do you have a selection there? Or you just work with anybody?
I am not going to work with anybody. Most realtors, they do care, and I want to work with somebody that really cares about what they're doing. My passion is for people that otherwise probably wouldn't get the help. Sometimes I feel like the veterans get left aside because there's this incorrect notion that a VA loan is hard to do. And so sometimes they just don't get the attention and the help that they need.
Yeah.
I also love, my heart is for the mamas that have young kids that, they're really trying. They're really trying. And it is so hard right now sometimes to be able to afford a home, and they just need somebody to help hold their hand, get them the financing. So if I've got a realtor that cares like I do, I mean, that's where it's at. You got to share that.
I'm the favorite, by the way.
I love it. Well, what's funny, Kelly, is you recently joined our team here at Premier. You're lending path, but you're here with us at Premier, and our number one core values are literally built on care. So it tells a lot about why you aligned with us, because that's exactly what you're giving back, and that's what you're looking for, not just in your real estate partners, but obviously in your lending partners as well. So yeah. By the way, Zeddy just jumped on. So hi, Zeddy. Great to see you out there. So John, I've got a great question for you. You shared a story about a buyer who had worked with you for years just to rebuild their credit, and then cried at the closing table. Why do moments like that stay with you?
Because of the emotional aspect to it. When you got a grown man, big dude, he's big, that gets overwhelmed with emotion because he's finally able to give his family a home.
Yes.
To see him tear up. I choked up a little bit. I was like, dang, dude. And so seeing him work so hard to achieve that goal and to achieve it and to be so proud to help his family was great. I actually talked to him the other day. I still talk to him all the time.
That's awesome, man. And how long ago was that?
Oh, we closed probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We had to work on some things, and he was probably almost 2 years of working on being able to buy that home.
What's cool there, though, is you just said 5 or 6 years ago is when you first started talking to him, and you're still talking to him today, just last week, and that story stood out. And what that tells me is that, you do care, which explains why you two align, right?
Yeah.
And it leads into my next question, which is, in regards to, this business, and moments like this are more than just contracts and commissions, right? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more. It's
the relationship that goes on and on and on. The friendship.
Yeah. That's it. Well, Kelly, I want to ask you a question. I asked John in the green room the other day. I want to ask you the question. So if you had to take a time machine back to when you were first getting started in the industry, and you had this moment that occurred, right? And it could have been a moment, it could have been somebody you helped, it just could have been, and you took a step back and you're like, this is my industry. This is where I need to be. Like, what was that moment for you where you just knew you were in the right space?
So when I first started, I went in to help. My sister owned her own mortgage company at that time, and I just went in to help her, answer phones and keep up. And when I saw how it is, and got to witness her, and she's a very big personality and loves to help people as well, and saw what she was doing, I was like, I want some of that. I want that. And then I just couldn't stop. It was supposed to just be part-time, and then I just loved it. And over the years, one of my very, very first closings that I had at that office was, I didn't know this couple. They were heading out of town, going north past the building to go out of town for about an hour. It was like an hour drive to go to a different mortgage company. And they saw our sign pulled in, and I was the first person when they come in the door, so I got them and started talking to them and asking them the questions. I actually did the application, got them pre-qualified right there. They went shopping, found a house, we closed it, and I am actually still friends with them today. Now, one of them lives, they've separated, but one of them lives in Georgia, and anytime he comes back to Tennessee, the whole family comes, they stay at our place. Like, we're still friends, and that's how I met him, was doing the mortgage form when they bought their first house. So, that's, once again, friendships.
More than a transaction, more
Yep.
than a contract.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
You really get close. I mean, I do. I've got that heart for people, and you get close with them. So when you can do something like that to help somebody, it feels good.
Yeah. Well, I think what that shows, and that's one of the things that we wanted to really tackle on this call today, is why working with the right partners makes sense, right? Like why it's really important to find the right agent and the right loan officer, and why the symmetry between the two is so important, because this is how transactions get done, but this is also how relationships get made. And more importantly, it's how the client experience becomes more than just a stressful transaction. It actually becomes a true experience that they can remember, because as you mentioned earlier on in the show, this is going to be where they spend their memories. This is going to be where they break bread. This is going to be where they have their Christmases and their good times and their bad times. And we want for that experience to start off as a memorable, magical experience. And I think that's what you two create together, because you both have that confidence in believing that it's about caring for your clients. And it's so funny how both of your stories are so similar, because, here's this reason that you love being in the industry. And it's also kind of what bonds the two of you together. And we go back to that first transaction, and I don't know if we addressed this, but you guys didn't even know each other.
No.
I think we did. Yeah. You mentioned that the client had a friend who said, just call Kelly. And, and here we are now with this dream team that you guys have created together.
Yep.
I love that. Well, let's do this for the realtors that are listening. What should they be looking for? And I know we covered some of this. What should they be looking for in a lender if they want to have a smoother transaction, or I think a real partnership, John?
The willingness and ability to do what it takes to work weekends. I don't punch a time clock. If weekends, that's when a lot of the buyers, they got to work Monday through Friday. So come Saturday and Sunday, that's the only time they have available. So if we got to shop on a Saturday or Sunday, let's go look at houses. And if they say, I love this house, I don't know what the monthly payment's going to be, I was like, hey, let's call Kelly real quick. We can figure that out right now.
Just call Kelly.
Just call Kelly.
Well, and I want to throw this out there too, because you say the willingness to work weekends. That doesn't mean that you have to just replan your entire weekend as a loan originator as well. The one thing you mentioned, John, and I've seen Kelly do this often, traveling to Florida, on her way for a quick getaway, but she's got a laptop in the car so that if something does pop up, she can jump on and solve a few problems. But then she's right back to her family and her life and enjoying the things that she enjoys. And I think that's something that's magical about this industry, especially where we are in 2026. There's a lot of what we can do on the go. So it doesn't mean that you got to be grinding every hour of the day, but you got to be there for your clients. And to your point, John, the clients are there on the weekends. And so if we want to help make sure that people secure the home that they love, the one that they want to be in, we've got to be present and we've got to be available. So, so Kelly, I'm going to ask you a similar question. For loan officers listening, what should they understand about earning an agent's trust?
Communication. That's just number one. You've got to, how can you have a relationship with somebody if you're not communicating with them?
Yeah.
That's basic. So having that communication, visiting with them, we don't really live that close to each other. It's a couple hours drive.
Yeah. It's a rare occasion that you two are actually in the same room. We got to make that happen today.
Yeah. So I think being there for them, answering their questions. One of the things that John brought up is, when I come up with a cool idea or I see something, I learn something, I want to share it with my realtors. I want you to do better, because if you're doing better, then you can help me do better. So, and I love, coaching, kind of, I guess you'd say coaching, and providing that extra help where needed. John's going to start doing more social media and videos than they have.
That's right. We're doing it right now, John. We're doing it right. And let's call it collaborating, right? It's collaborating because I'm sure John brings stuff to your table as well, right? To help you in building your traction. So
you hear in real estate and I'm lending to, everybody's always saying, you got to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone. And social media is not my comfort zone. And then I hear I've got a wonderful broker here, and she's always, she calls it a secret agent. Every time she says that, I hear bomb music in the back of my head. And I'm like, I'm staying in my comfy lane. No. She's always telling us, hey, get out of your comfort zone, do more, be social, be in the community.
And
I think with Kelly helping me here, I think
well, that's huge. And let's talk about this too, Ben, because I'm going to correct you real quick here, right? So it wasn't your comfort zone. It's becoming your comfort zone. And that's the language that we have to use when we talk to ourselves, right? But more importantly, here you are. And by the way, we are live, my man. We are live, and you are super comfortable right now. So I think what needs to happen is that you're getting into your comfort zone that you didn't realize was your comfort zone all along, right? And, to stay present. Go ahead.
I'm comfortable with people. If somebody were to walk in my office right now, I'll talk to them about anything.
Absolutely.
Put a camera in front of me.
But we want you to get comfortable because at the end of the day, more people need to find you guys, right? Yeah. More people need to know that you're out there and need to have an understanding that there's teams out there that actually care about the people that they're doing business with. Yeah. And this is how people see you, right? You already have a great big list of people that know, like, and trust you. Those are already there. But when somebody's referring somebody to you, and I say this all the time, in 2026, social media is your business card, right? Websites are, they're there, but that's not what people really look at anymore. They look at who you are, what you're doing socially, and what they can trust is the things that you're putting out there. And if there's a consistency between who you're showing up as on the screen and who you're showing up as in person, now all of a sudden trust is automatically built. They may be able to listen to this podcast, hear you guys share some stories and go, man, you know what? I like these two. Like, these are my people,
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're at the very end. So if each of you can give me one piece of advice for buyers in choosing the right team, what would that be?
Just call Kelly.
She's going to call me. We're good.
I'd like that advice. I think that's right on the money. If you're in Tennessee, what other states are you in, Kelly?
Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida.
There it is. And if you want to find Kelly, get over to Facebook. If you don't know her already, you should. And you can find her at Loans with Kelly Taylor. Loans with Kelly Taylor. And she can help you in a few different states. John, now it's your turn. And let's do this, man. So where are you at? You're in the great state of Tennessee. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And where specifically are you operating out of?
I am just north of Nashville, but I serve all of Middle Tennessee.
There it is. And you can find John on Instagram at John Sells Homes. John Sells Homes, or go to Facebook and you can find him at john.worling.779, or just look up John Worling and look for this handsome guy. I'm pretty sure you can find him there really easily. And maybe he doesn't have the strongest social media presence yet, but if you watch this podcast, you know who he is and what he's about, and he cares. Who knows, 6 years later, you guys may be having phone calls talking about how you guys got him into that house, and maybe you'll have one of those crying moments at closing because you didn't know you could get there. But with this dream team, you can certainly make that happen. So, well, guys, anything that you want to say, any last words before we jump off today?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to get us out of our comfort zone, into our new comfort zone.
That's right.
Into our new comfort zone.
I love it. Well, good stuff. John, anything from you?
No, thank you for this opportunity. It's fun. I
love it. Yeah. Well, good stuff. Well, maybe we started a spark in you. And hey, to all our viewers out there too, hey, start your own spark. If you guys need help with the transaction, don't hesitate to reach out to these two. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they're going to help you make the right decision for you. But hey, if you love leveling up and learning more, keep coming back to the show. You're going to find me here all the time on a network close to you. If you know which platform you're on now, just subscribe to that one. And until the next time, we will see you guys then. Take care. You've been watching Loan Officer Success Live, where real strategies meet real success. Don't forget to subscribe now and share it with your teammates, and keep leveling up, because your next breakthrough starts here. If this fired you up, don't just watch success, go out there and build it.